these are pictures of known animal fossils. And if you look, they have, this is the darkened thing and a shaded thing. And you see that it starts to change. This moves back up, this moves down. So now we've got that here. This becomes a clavicle. And also look at the fins. This is a finned fish. Still looks an awful lot like a finned fish. I don't look like a finned fish. And for one thing, look, it has 8 to 10 digits. And then you also notice that this is still connected way down low. It's still a fin. And in Tiktaalik, you can see where the development is, and it has a shoulder. So it can push itself off the ground. If you think of mud skippers, the fish that go from puddle to puddle, and they kind of pull themselves along, if you've ever seen them, this is one step beyond that. This is probably a mud skipper kind of fish. And this is a tetrapod. This is something that has a shoulder that can lift itself off the ground. There are a lot of theories about why they might have needed to lift themselves off the ground. One is simply to get away from predators. If there's a predator in the water and I can go hop, hop, hop out of the water, I might be able to stay alive. Another theory is that they did it because of environmental changes and needed to be able to gulp air. And that also drives the evolution in a path of using air. You may have also heard of, oops, the word's gone. All fish have swim bladders, all bony fish. And it turns out that they not only use that for buoyancy, but they also use it for gas exchange. So if a fish can gulp or get air into that sac, that will become the lungs of future animals because it's starting to develop absorption of oxygen and transmission of
Could we
gases.
create something going backwards instead of forwards? Like for instance, take for instance a woman gets a baby, right? Now the baby is swimming in water. Now if she is pregnant, she goes underwater, the baby is still underwater. Now suppose she would keep it underwater forever, by feeding it with a tube, okay? Would there be a person that is like a fish always? Because if we go underwater, we drown, but that one will never drown.
Well, no, because the problem is when we have babies, the placenta is also ejected, so they have no oxygen needed blood supply.
Oh, so
the birth, when women choose to give birth underwater, thinking that it will be more easier on the baby, they still have to bring it up to the surface of the water to get it to breathe before the placenta is delivered. Because if the placenta is delivered and it's underwater, it will drown.
Oh, I see.
Now, I also mentioned last week, because you guys are so on top of things, whoops, that's not what I wanted. This is the actual Tiktaalik itself, and you can see in the bottom, it's the model of Tiktaalik is pushing itself off the ground. Just where did I? Oh, sorry. Okay. I had mentioned neoteny. This is the state of retaining juvenile features. And again, it's something that's going to happen in the embryo and the developing fetus and after birth. And so you'll have, human babies are born with this enormous head, and they look really, they look really strange and funny, but never mind. But they, I lost my train of thought. But they have a face that looks human. What is wrong with this mask? Can you tell?
Yeah, the jaw.
Take a look. Which one does it look like? Does it look like the chimpanzee?
No.
No, it doesn't. this has a flat face, just like that immature baby chimp. So this has been humanized and is completely bogus, as far as I'm concerned.
That's because we like to see ourselves. You don't want to see other things.
Absolutely.
Why don't you keep it on? It's an improvement.
Thank you so much, Nico. I told you in the first couple of classes that I'm going to try not to talk too long or too late and have breaks and times for questions. And this is going to be the first break.
Good.
All right, we're back from break. Today's experiment is going to take up most of the rest of the class.
Can you turn it on?
I went to the Rock and Mineral Show, and that's where I got all these fossils. I wanted to remind you again that some fossils survive only as impressions, like those feathers. And other fossils are completely replaced with calcium in their bones. But it's very rare for soft tissues to be visible. It's very rare for the inside of an egg to be fossilized in the same shape and form as what's inside the egg. Usually you just get an egg and the inside is just a big crystal. So this is a piece of sedimentary rock with little sand dollars in it. And today we're going to find out if there's anything in it. I want to do this so that you all can see. I thought I would take an arbitrary place in the middle of it and just...
Smash it.
I think if I do that, that thing is going to go ballistic.
There you go.
Something went... There!
Yeah.
Rats. You can see that it's sandstone, and you can see little bits of little shells. Now the question is, can I find anything more interesting than little bits of little shells? What about that spot?
Maybe a diamond.
Ooh, I think I cut one in half. It's very hard for you to see, but on the edge of this, there's something that goes up and over, and there's something that comes straight across. So it looks like I went through one of the little sand dollars on the top. Let's see if we can find something in here. Get back down there to the... Here, pass that one around. You can see that I've gone through the sand dollar. Of course, this is not how it's done. It's done painstakingly with a little, taking off a little bit at a time. But I don't have that patience, and neither do you. There's another little bit. What I'm finding is that it's not cleaving on planes, it's shattering. I don't know what that is, but that looks interesting. Looks different. I want to get that intacto. By all means, ask questions or talk amongst yourselves. Same kind of thing, where you can see things sideways on the side. I don't know how well you can see this, but right here, there's a straight line across and a line that goes up and over. So this is one of the bigger, like from here to here,
Yeah.
it's one of the bigger sand dollars that I went through. Now, if this were at a fossil site, we wouldn't have just this little bit of sedimentary rock. We would have, well, for example, if you've ever seen a place where they've taken a road and cut through a hill, you now have these nice vertical slices. And if they don't turn it into hills, if they leave it as cliffs, you'll find the faunal succession and the principle of superposition in those. And I think that's very interesting.